Joe SSENYONYI, the leader of opposition, destroyed those who were supporting the science teachers to get a little bit more pay than the arts teachers. Okay, it was so unfortunate, and the disparity is so huge. If the disparity was small, we could understand, but the disparity of being huge in the salary, which is supposed to be earned by both the science teacher and the arts teacher, is so overwhelming. Joe SSENYONYI came out to fight for them. In 3 minutes, he said these statements.
The worry is parents, students are very concerned because learning is not happening for the arts and humanities, but also these arts teachers have warned that they are not going to carry out the assessment, which is like the marking, the grading, and all of that. And that's a big concern for our young people who are in school. Honorable Speaker, it's not fair. And this is something we have raised severally in our alternative ministerial policy statements, even our alternative budget. And we're saying, let's get money off here and pay all teachers well. It's not fair that arts teachers earn about 4 times less their science colleagues. It's not right at all. And look, we have not at any one time said that let the salaries of the science teachers be reduced. No. In fact, we are happy they were increased because that's something we have been advocating for. But we are saying you cannot do it for some and not others. These are all teachers, qualified at same levels, degree, same level, diploma. But for this disparity here, where they do the same workload, same qualifications and so on, it is wrong, right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, head teachers who studied arts earn way less than the science teachers whom they supervise. How can this be right? How do you expect a head teacher who is not well remunerated to supervise people who are earning better than him or her? How does that happen? That's a management crisis that we are creating, right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, here is another interesting concern. In the Auditor General's report for the audit year ended 2024, and I'd like to encourage colleagues to read these audit reports. Science teachers' pension, after science teachers retire, their pension on a monthly basis is twice the net pay of serving arts teachers. This is totally unacceptable. That somebody retires and the pension they're earning on a monthly basis is higher than somebody who is still working. This is wrong. We need to do something quickly about it as I wrap up and take that. Honorable Speaker, government should not intimidate these arts teachers. I know in their engagements, sometimes when civil servants are on strike, government will try and intimidate them, get back to work, otherwise we'll fire you and so on. Please don't intimidate these arts teachers. Pay them well, just like you're paying the science teachers. Finally, right, Honorable Speaker, this government is run by people who qualified in the arts. Majority of those who are running it. The current occupant of State House did an arts degree in Dar es Salaam. The Vice President did an arts degree at Makerere University, first qualification. The Speaker of Parliament, her first qualification was an arts degree from Makerere University. The Chief Justice did a law degree, which is an arts degree. The Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, your first qualification, sir, was a Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences, before you added other things. They are saying even the law. Yes. As a lawyer, I did arts. Of course, I did other things before. The Prime Minister, I don't know what she studied. But the point, right, Honorable Speaker, is how can we be victimizing arts teachers and yet we are running the country and yet we qualified in arts? It is a wrong signal. It's a wrong message that we are saying.
That is Joe SSENYONYI. First of all, we must understand what was the reason behind making the science teachers earn more than the arts teachers. That was the most stupid decision. I'm going to point it out in this decision to explain on how we can leverage the science teachers, to explain how it is hypocrisy on the side of government to give science teachers more. But most importantly, the sedimentaries we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, the law was passed for the science teachers to earn more. It is not bad for science teachers to be facilitated, but to get a salary discrepancy, it is problematic. Even in parliament, take for example, people get the same salary. What differs is, allowances. If they wanted to leverage the science teachers, what they would get is allowances, not a salary discrepancy. Because that is problematic. You may find a teacher who gets more salary than a headmaster who's an art teacher. Where have this ever happened? Nowhere. Okay? So, salary discrepancy is bad when it comes to a profession. Because at the end of the day, even arts are needed. If the government indeed wanted to leverage sciences, if I was president, what I would have done is, one, give them the same salary, but give a little bit of allowance to science teachers so that you can leverage science. Two, build an ecosystem that enables science. You cannot give science teachers a lot of money vis-a-vis to what their counterparts earn in arts. Yet we don't have even a proper ecosystem for science. Take for example, in Uganda, internet is the most expensive in East Africa. Yet internet is a means of production. It enables sciences, it enables new startups, it enables a lot of things like research. Instead of giving those people too much salary, give them the same salary, give the science teachers allowance, but also build an ecosystem, reduce on the internet, reduce on things which are used in sciences. Because we have a president who's analog, it thinks otherwise. In fact, today, the government came out to say that the arts teachers who are planning to demonstrate, they're going to write off them from the government list of workers, because the arts teachers are coming out to protest against getting low salary. In fact, here's the communication which was made to tell them that they are going to remove them from work. Here's it.
Other categories of human resource, like the humanities cadre, up to now have not been enhanced. This year, this financial year, the budget is going to cater for the forthcoming elections, and there is no money for enhancement of salaries. We want to request our dear teachers. We have had several engagements. We want to request our dear teachers of humanities to go back to class, because being a government worker is also an honor. If you check the private schools, what they pay to their teachers is just peanuts. The average is between 300,000 and 400,000. But they are in class teaching. And government is not going to wait for us. They will continue giving exams, and they will not even give affirmative action to government schools. We are teaching humanities. We should be human enough to know that we are not punishing anybody. We are punishing the children and their parents. Therefore, I request that let them go back to the class, and the salary will find them there. If you are not in class, you risk your job, because we have students who have been volunteering in 6 schools and they are not yet employed, and recently they are struggling to get these positions. If you give them an opportunity, they can take the jobs. And recently, we even talked to them with the First Lady. The First Lady is also the Minister in charge of Education and Sport. We gave them our position as government. There is nowhere we can get money from at this point in time.
That is the tape. So you clearly see that the government doesn't know how to harmonize. Don't get me wrong, science is the future. But the way that is being handled, it is very, very wrong. We must build an ecosystem in science, not giving them a lot of pay with others. A teacher, a person who is excellent in arts with a right qualification must get the same side that like those who is in science. Science teachers must just be given allowances for doing sciences so that we can leverage them, so that we can give them capacity to innovate. But giving them a side discrepancy is a mistake. It's going to throw us in trouble. And by the way, even the side discrepancy is so high. For example, as arts teacher earns 40% less than a science teacher. Even if there is some discrepancy, it must be little, not so huge. How can you tell me, for example, if a arts teacher arts teacher in primary earns like 400,000 and a science teacher earns 1.2? That's a big discrepancy. Even if there's supposed to be a difference, not supposed to be so huge. It's supposed to be small to enable harmonization in the teaching structure. What do you think? Of course, that's my opinion. Do not make us my commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makinde East constituency, so that I can represent the great people of Makinde East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Sigadde nze Mr. Makindi Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali kantwene guno omukisa okubategeeza mbu ngenda kwesimba okuwa MP Makindi East 2026 nesimbawo luli era nkomawo bataata bamaama basenga bajjajja okubasaba akalulu. Makindi East ediridde nnyo emabega okumala emyaka 2 okuva omugenzi Sebana we yagenda. Yensonga lwaki buli mukulembeze ajja tumuwayo ekisanja kimu kubanga tukola ensobi. Abakulembeze ba Makindi East okumala emyaka 15 buli we baranking abakulembeze abakozi b'omu parliament abatakyasinze kwogera babeeramu 2 abasemba. Ebyo bintu birina okwogerwa. Twetaaga omukulembeze ng'alina obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Twetaaga omukulembeze nga fighter, si bano bajooka. Bw'oba ng'ogenda saabalira ku mazzi ne baleeta eryato ly'ebbumba ne baleeta ne speed boat, tosobola kukwata lyato lya bbumba ogenda osaabale kubanga lijja kunywa amazzi obbire bassebo ne bannyabo. Oba olina kulondawo speed boat efubutuka kaweewo ekusomese mangu. Nze Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali, nze speed boat. Bannaye munonde muninnye nsooke mbasaabaze ku speed ey'ekizungirizi. Eddoboozi lyaffe libadde teriwulirwa. Kyekiseera mu 2026 mulonde nze kamwa kwogera Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali ayina eddoboozi eryamwanguka ajoyimirira ku parliament ayanje ensonga mu beesimbyewo bonna bassebo ne bannyabo teryansinga kwanja nsonga. Abaneesimbyeko bonna baneegomba olw'engeri gye njogeramu, olw'engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Gw'oba okiwakana eno YouTube yange sooka ogiraba ogifollowing ogisharing olabe ne video eziriko engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Kuba mwaka faananyi nga ndi ku floor ya parliament nga ngamba Mr. Speaker sa wa Madam Speaker sa waliwo asobola okugaana okuwulira. So mu 2026 tetukola era ne mulonda omulala atali Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali. Musibe bulungi, mweraba. Peace.
Mpala nawala kusaba kimuze mpala na bulungi wadi abampala no bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.